Hey there, this is attorney Sarah Holmes of Holmes Business Law P.C. We are a business and trademark law firm that also offers general counsel subscription services to business owners. Today I want to talk about, are you a faux CEO? The top 3 red flags that you may not be a serious business owner. Now, that may sound kind of harsh, but in reality, it's a good check to see if you're doing things that really show you're a serious business owner. Maybe you're just playing around, or maybe it's just you don't know what you don't know, and just someone needs to tell you about things that you should be informed of when you own a business. I've been doing this a long time. I have had my own law firm for 10 years. Before that, I owned a business for maybe a year and a half, 2 years before I started the law firm. Before that, I worked in a law firm doing litigation, defending business owners. I've been around a lot of business owners. I myself have invested tons of money over the years in coaching, business consulting, business courses, things like that. And there's some really common threads when people are starting out, which is okay. Everybody's a newbie at some point. But there's also a certain type of business owner that comes out with maybe a lot of bravado, a lot of ego. They're putting CEO titles on business cards. And the fact is, like, it's a one-person shop. It's a one-person LLC, corporation, whatever it is. Or maybe sometimes when people want to complicate it further and they're setting up, LLCs in Delaware, Wyoming, without the advice of counsel or just reading things on the internet. And these are people that I sometimes call faux CEOs, meaning like you're not a real CEO and you're certainly not acting like one either within your business. So what are the signs, the red flags that this may be a faux CEO? So number 1 would be not knowing your limits, or at least not acknowledging really where your expertise lies and where it ends. So there's a lot of people that when you first start a business and you start out, you really do have to do everything yourself. Like you might have to, we call it, the chief janitor, the chief bottle washer, the chief consultant. Like you might have to do initially in your business all the different roles. That's okay. Everybody has to do that. The difference is when you maybe don't recognize where the limits of your expertise are, and that's where it becomes dangerous for people. So for example, we see it all the time. People come out and they start a business and they're like, hey, I read all this stuff on the internet about this legal structure and I'm going to go form something in some other state and I'm going to take these contracts I found on the internet and I really don't know what indemnification is, but I'm going to write this whole clause in my contract. That's where it's really dangerous. At least if someone acknowledges, hey, I don't know what these things are, maybe I should at least consult with someone and figure out what these things are. You're at least acknowledging sort of where the boundaries and the outer limits of your expertise lie. So at least you know that if you have to go get something checked, you know when and where to do that. In my own business, for example, like I don't know everything about bookkeeping and I don't know everything about taxes. So that's the first place that when I was even starting out, I recognized, hey, I can't do this myself. I need someone that knows what they're doing. I'm going to have to pay them money. And if I don't, I could get myself in a bunch of trouble, whether it's tax-wise, bookkeeping, whatever it is. But I really had to acknowledge sort of where the limits of my knowledge were and go get professional help in those instances. So number 1 is recognizing your limits and at least understanding where you might have to go get help in the future. Number 2 sign that you may be a faux CEO is an unwillingness to pay other people for their expertise. So this kind of goes hand in hand with number 1, is number 1, recognizing where you might need help. Number 2 is just a flat out refusal to pay people for their expertise. I don't know if it's a function of the internet and how easy it can be sometimes to start a business. I understand totally the startup phase and people beginning that funds are tight, you have a limited amount, maybe a startup capital, and you need to spend it wisely. However, you have to recognize that most things in business and most of your progress in business is a function of either time or money. So it's either you can spend time, like for example, you could spend the next year learning about bookkeeping, for example, or you could take $100 a month and pay someone that has years and years of expertise and experience to do that for you, therefore saving you time and you then being able to go do critical operations in your business. So everything is a function of time or money. And sometimes it's really not smart to choose the time over the money route. Sometimes it's much smarter to pay other people for the expertise. You go run your business and you will find that you can go much farther, much faster doing that. The next thing is to show, or a red flag that you might be a faux CEO, is not having access to your financials, your tax returns, and not keeping up with your bookkeeping. This is something that when I started helping a lot of entrepreneurs and asking them a lot more questions about their business, I was shocked to find how many people, if you ask them, hey, send me your P&L reports for the last 6 months of your business, the amount of business owners that tell you number one, I don't have access to those. Number two, oh, I'd have to ask my accountant. He's the only person or she's the only person that knows how to get those. I only do my bookkeeping at tax time, and then I'll sit down and do all my transactions for last year. That's extremely disturbing, and to me is the number one red flag that you might be a faux CEO. Someone that's running their business properly, number one, has updated financials available at all times at their fingertips, meaning if the end of the month is January 31st, by the third week of February, the books for January should be closed, all coded appropriately, and all your bookkeeping should be caught up. Taxes, like if you don't have access to the tax returns, like the question is why? Like who has those? If you as the owner of your business are not the ultimate person most responsible for keeping and looking at those records, that's not something you should delegate. Like yes, delegate the tax returns to a proper CPA or an accountant. Yes, delegate actually keeping the books and doing the entries to a bookkeeper, but those people should be answering to you and providing those reports to you or showing you how to pull those on your own. You should never, ever, ever be dependent on someone else for getting the financial access and financial records for your business. So if you need help, maybe stepping into your role as CEO of your business, you need help getting it legit, you want to know what else you're missing, feel free to reach out to our office. Our number is 215-482-0285. We have some handy checklists that you could download at the link below. And we also have a membership site where you could take some courses and get some more information on up-leveling your business. So in the meantime, good luck and hope to talk to you soon.